What's going on, everyone? So anytime I have an opportunity to talk about Zach LaVine, I'm going to do it. I'm trying to put it out there into the universe that hopefully the basketball gods are listening and we can end up getting Zach LaVine on the Lakers. Because my goodness, okay? I know it's a preseason game, but he looked spectacular. Like, he looked like this was a statement for like, hey, come get me. Somebody, anybody, come get me. Now, again, I understand it's preseason. You're not really worried about his abilities, right? You're not worried about whether he can score or make plays or, be dynamic out there on the basketball court, right? You're looking for his health. How is he moving? How is he operating, right? Is he getting after it on the defense side of things? All of those kind of little nuances that, hey, if we were to go and make that commitment, right, because of his contract, is he a guy that is healthy enough to be worth giving up what you have to give up to get him? Asset-wise, you're not going to have to give up anything, right? Asset-wise, you're not giving up any picks. You're not giving up anything. You're just essentially doing a salary swap. But you don't want to unload, $43 million in salary to go get a guy and then he plays 20 games, right? Now, outside of last season, Zach LaVine was a guy that was pretty healthy, right? Played 77 games the previous year, and then he played 67 games, and then averaged about 65 games a season since, right? Last season, he was expected to play and finish the entirety of the season, but Detroit rumors started. In the wise words of Austin Reeves, I'm not going to Detroit. It's kind of what it felt like, but still, like, he had a surgery. Teams are going to want to do their due diligence and actually see, like, is he healthy? Is he good to go? What does he look like? And, let's see here. Okay, in 22 minutes, he gave you 28 points, 4 assists, went 9 of 12 from the floor, 6 of 6 from 3. Lakers, call me crazy, but Lakers want to shoot 40 plus threes a game. Be nice to have an excellent elite three-point shooter like that. But 6 for 3, 4 4 from the foul line, 2 steals for playing some defense, but obviously steals, more defense than just steals. He actually was very good defensively in that game when he was on the basketball court, and was a plus 17 for the Lakers, or for the Chicago Bulls. Future Laker, right? But point is he looked really good. He was moving well. He was explosive. He was athletic. He was getting to his spots. Right? He was getting after it on the defense side of things. All the things that you want to see if you were to look engaged. Like, hey, is this worth acquiring? Is this worth kind of making the jump take? Now, Lakers, I imagine, if they ever were to trade for Zach LaVine, it'll be one of those things where they kind of, let's give it 30 games, right? Like, so you're looking maybe January, something like that. It's like, hey, let's go pull off a Zach LaVine trade. Let's go get him. We could use the scoring. We could use his dynamic abilities. We'd use his athleticism, especially if he can get after it defensively. Because, again, you don't want to go make the trade now, because that's always the question. Like, okay, if the Lakers wanted Zach LaVine, or, if Zach LaVine really want to go Lakers, or whatever, if you didn't have to give anything up, why hasn't it already happened? Because, again, it is a big commitment. Right? I'm not, everybody that's available right now. Because the biggest concerns are, he's injury prone. Okay, well, so is Jeremy Grant. So is Bruce Brown. So is Cam Johnson. Right? Like, go down the list of all the guys that are available. They are all injury prone. They all only play 45 games a season. Right? Like, Cam Johnson, the most games he has ever played in a season is 66. Right? Like, everyone's so worried about Zach LaVine and his injury history, and he's played more games than everyone else that's available. So, again, if you're worried about anybody, it should be everyone else but Zach LaVine. But his injury history, okay, I understand. You want the precaution. You want to make sure that it works, right? Same thing with the contract, right? If you're going to be locked in, because thing is, with Zach LaVine, just like a Jeremy Grant, Cam Johnson, you may be able to trade because he's reasonable. Right? He's like $23 million. But point is that any of these like names that are on the market right now, all of them you're pretty much stuck with, right? Because you're going to have to give up all your assets. At least with Zach LaVine, you'd have first that if you needed to move off him, you probably could have. He lines up perfectly with LeBron James and Anthony Davis and their contract, right? Like, however you shake it, it's not a bad deal, but you want to make sure he's healthy. You don't want to have to give up D'Lo, Rui, and Gabe Vincent. You don't want to give up something like that, and then Zach LaVine gets hurt, or he's like limping and kind of dealing with these little nagging injuries all season, and it's like you make that move, and now he gets hurt, and it's like, well, that was silly, right? Like, you want to make sure Zach LaVine is healthy and good to go. The play isn't the concern, right? Fit, not a concern. He's one of the best catch-shoot three-point shooters in the league. Imagine him running in our offense with his athleticism and his ability to score at literally all three levels, the rim pressure he can apply. Imagine him as a slasher and cutter, throwing lobs to him. Imagine the pick and pops you can run. Imagine him coming off of pin downs. It would just be tough. Like, good luck defending Zach LaVine, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James in this style of offense. To me, it's money. Right? Like, your starting five that could be, I mean, I'd probably go Max Christie and Brandon Reeves off the bench. That's just me. But probably be Austin Reeves, Zach LaVine, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. I think that's enough to win a championship. I think that gives you the highest ceiling. And again, I'd personally go, Zach LaVine, Max Christie, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. And for those that are like, well, Zach LaVine, like, who's your point guard? Like, Zach LaVine can be the initiator. Like, the offense we're running doesn't require a ball-dominant point guard, right? Zach LaVine can make plays. He's ran point before. He's initiated offenses before. He handles ball pressure well, right? He's not like this playmaker. Like, I wouldn't want him wheeling and dealing and, trying to basically create all these offensive sequences. Like, no. But him coming in, bringing the ball up, off the break or whatever, like, and now you're using him as the initiator, that's fine. And if you ever need that, like, point guard, you got LeBron James on the court. He could easily step in. But I just like the defense and 3-and-D of Max Christie, right? Now you got some real athleticism out at the guard position, the wing position. I mean, good, really good. But chances are it'll probably be Austin Reeves. But I digress. Like, the point is again, you're not worried about the fit. You're not worried about his play style. You're not worried about any of the things. Like, Lakers need a guy like him. It's why he's still regularly linked to the Lakers. Anytime there's a new article published about Zach LaVine, it's immediately linking him to the Lakers because he makes so much sense for the Lakers. And the Lakers make so much sense for Zach LaVine. It is a perfect match made in heaven, right? But you want to be sure. You don't want to go and jump the gun, and now Zach LaVine, now you're stuck, and you're just like, oh, wow, this was a terrible decision. And so many people are worried about, like, future flexibility. You have other guys that'll be expiring that you can unload, trade, whatever, and you'd have your picks. So if you needed to clear salary, you could do that. But also, this guy behind me, LeBron James, I mean, he could take a vet minimum if he wanted to. Right? Like, he could take whatever he wants to where if you need to get under a certain apron or whatever, so you want to use your taxpayer mid-level or you want to do whatever, right? Like, this guy can make it happen. He was willing to do it this year. Imagine what do you do if, like, you win a championship this season or you're, like, a piece away from winning a championship? You don't think LeBron James would take a discount in order to go win another championship? Of course he would. Especially if you win, right? Like, I look at what Zach LaVine provides, and it's just, I don't know how you look at Zach LaVine and go, yeah, like, nah, he doesn't make sense, right? Like, go watch this game. Just watch the highlights from this game. Go watch Zach LaVine. And after that game, come back here and tell me, yeah, I don't want Zach LaVine. He's ridiculous, right? The one issue is just the contract with the injuries. But if he gives you 70 games, then it's fine. Like, 65 games is the days of 82 games are pretty much gone for stars, right? You have guys like, Austin Reeves, like Mikal Bridges, like you have these like mid-tier, borderline stars, all-star level guys. There's a handful of guys in the league that'll give you 82 games that like play meaningful minutes, right? Like there's a ton of guys that, are healthy for 82 games, but they're playing a minute or whatever. Like, it's not the same thing, right? Like, talk about real, like, rotation piece, stuff like that, but particularly stars, Right? There's a reason the NBA made the threshold for accolades 65 games. It's because that's the average that these stars are playing. So they're like, okay, well, you got to at least play 65 games. So as long as Zach LaVine is playing 60 to 65 games, you're fine. Right? Obviously, you'd love to see him play all 82. Obviously, you'd love to see him play at least 77, like he did 2 seasons ago. But as long as he's healthy enough, particularly come playoffs, you're good. You're going to be in good shape. Lakers are still going to have depth. Let's say they trade D'Lo, Rui, Gabe Vincent, right? Those 3 guys for Zach LaVine. You have Austin Reeves, Zach LaVine, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, right? That's your 5. Then you still have Max Christie, Dalton Connect, not Cam Reddish. We do have Cam Reddish. You have Christian Wood. There you go. And Jackson Hayes. Plus you have 2 firsts. Plus you have, and you can go get a Walker Kessler if you wanted to. Right? Like, I still think Walker Kessler and Zach LaVine get you a championship. But, even if you don't want that, you could go and make another move for another guy. Right? Like, go get another center. Valanciunas, you could still go pull off if you wanted to. Right? Like, there's still options of flexibility there. You'd clear off a couple roster spots so you could bring in a Quincy, right? Olivari if you want to do, or a Jordan Goodwin or something like that. Right? Like, you're fine. You'll have more than enough talent, more than enough depth, more than enough everything to get it done. It's just you need to do your due diligence first, which is what I think the Lakers are doing. I'm not saying that Zach LaVine is going to be a Laker or that he's a lock to be a Laker. I want to keep putting it in the universe. I hope he is. But if you were ever going to consider Zach LaVine, you'd want to see him the first 25 to 30 games first. Right? Is he starting to show some fatigue? Is he starting to show some, signs of injury? Is he dealing with some nagging stuff, right, that could maybe develop into something? Right? Like, you want to make sure all is right before you go and make that move. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you like what you saw from Zach LaVine? Do you think the Lakers should go get Zach LaVine? Do you think, stay away from Zach LaVine. It's just not worth it. However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos. I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.